I was going to do something else for a video, but then I thought, what if I destroyed some bed sheets? I'll show y'all kind of what the inspiration was for this in this clip right now. Quick correction, yes, I do know the difference between smocking and shirring. Yes, I do keep saying smocking in the voiceover. I don't know why I said that. It's obviously shirring. Shirring is when you sew with a thread on top and an elastic on bottom to give it a stretch. I don't know why I kept saying smocking. I don't know if there was just some word in the, look at me blaming Joann's now, in the Joann's dresses or skirt, or if the word smocking had just been caught in my head for 2 days, but yes, it is shirring. And all of the written pieces on this video assure you that yes, I mean shirring. I don't know where smocking came from. It's shirring. We're doing shirring today. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jamila and this is Jamila Creates. So today we're doing another sewing project. This was inspired by the fact that Joann Fabrics is unfortunately shutting down. This was one of my earliest projects from Joann Fabrics. I mean, this in particular is me trying it again several years later, but the first project I ever did buying fabric from Joann's was that smocked material that they sell where you just sew the two sides together and you're done. So this is kind of my take on it, which is a little bit more labor intensive and kind of requires you learning how to do smocking, but I have a mini tutorial in this tutorial on smocking, and I'll try to link some things below for that. But besides that, this project is pretty easy. Oh, I also added pockets, which not a huge necessity, but you can do that. And that does make it a little bit more difficult, so if you want to keep it easier, you can do it without. But I like pockets. Alright, so let's get started. For reference, this is the fabric project from Joann's that I'm talking about. Yeah, so I think we can make that really easily. And why I think that... it does not take long for my space to become a mess again. Why I think that is that I have a ton of elastic thread, so I can easily just shirr the edges myself, and you know, they're sewing the textile. I could make my own pattern. It's just two rectangles. So hopefully this diagram helps to explain the two rectangles. What I did is I took the front hip measurement of my mannequin and multiplied that by 2. And in that case, I got 43, so that's how wide to make the front square. And with the back, I did the back hip measurement times 2. And again, that's the width. I don't know how the front ended up so much bigger than the back. This might be the bust measurement. The idea is to just take your largest measurement on both the front and the back and multiply those by 2. That way you get a more voluminous skirt. If you want it to be more like the Joann one, then take the front measurement and multiply it by 2. Or you could even take the waist measurement and multiply it by 2. The shirring gives it a lot of room. And then you take the desired length as well, and that's just your length. So I want it to be 31 inches, which was a little long, but ended up being all right. I also measured 0.75 inches down from the top of both the front and the back, and that's just for my hem because I'm doing my hem before the smocking, which usually you wouldn't do the hem first, but this will this just works a lot better when you're doing smocking. And then you want to take 10 inches down from the very top, and that's where you're putting your pocket. Is that right? No, that's where your smocking ends. Sorry, excuse me. So you want a straight line at the 10-inch mark where your smocking ends, and that's going to be 10 inches for everybody. If your skirt is only 10 inches long, then it's too short. And not even a skirt, but a top. So fix that. So 10 inches from the top corner, that is where the smocking ends. Make sure to make a line in chalk, a straight line throughout the front and back pieces. You'll need that later. And then 1 inch down from that, or 11 inches from the top, is where your pocket will start. So this is your basic pattern. Of course, change it to be your measurements when it comes to width, but other than that, it should be good. All right, so here I have the hem, and I just measured up from the tip of the hem to right here, and I changed my mind. I put this down as 8 inches. I want it to be 10 inches just to be more like the shirts that they're selling. So now that I have that, I can get a good idea of where to start ruching for my, or not ruching, shearing for my design. So, excuse me. I have this bobbin that's just been wrapped in with elastic, so I hand wrap that. And you just kind of carefully move it around the elastic, not too tight, so don't pull on it so that it has tension, but don't make it too loose either. Now I have a regular bobbin in here. We're just going to switch that up. And what I suggest doing, I have this bright color on top just to differentiate. So you thread the bobbin like you would any other, except it might take a little more effort to get it pulled through because the elastic really doesn't want to go there, but there we go. Keep it on a high tension, so like 4, or I'll go up a little bit to 5. Keep the length high, so I'm almost at max length. Make sure you're on a straight stitch. And I have some scrap fabric here. It's best to test, it's best to do a test swatch before you go. And they say just keep everything tight and not backstitch, but I backstitch. So, yeah, that's not right. It's not right because you can see this looping and kind of pulling through it. So the tension on the back is wrong. I'm going to put this back down to 4 and maybe take this tension down a little bit too and see if I can't get it a little bit better. A lot of this is guesswork, so you'll have to have an eye for what's right. Okay, that's still doing the catching thing, but it looks so much better that I'll take it. As long as you're not like sliding the fabric around in there to play with where the gathers go, is looking about right. As opposed to this one where you can literally see me slide the elastic. All right. Have the markings on the front. They're not the most clear, but they should do. And I did these at every 1/2 inch. That might be too much. It's really up to you, but I did it every 1/2 inch because I liked it, or because it was easier to trace. You might want to do it closer to every 1/4 inch. That's what I did on the final dress, but for this demonstration, I'm doing it like this. All right, I'll leave you to it because it's just the same thing over and over again. I'll show y'all the next step when I'm ready. Okay, so I measured 1 inch down from all this ruching, and that's where the pockets are gonna go. It's easier to show you this one that I've already done. So I just pinned this edge that curves to, or after the curve to this edge, and you wanna sew along here, and that way it'll fold out to look like this. So I'm going to do that here. Here, you can see I measured the 1 inch, and that's where it starts. And then on the front as well, and sew that up. Here is the sewing pattern that I'm using for the pockets. You gotta cut 2 mirrored pairs, so 4 of them total. They're quite big, but I want them to fit your hands and to fit everything that you need in them. And I put a 2 inch by 2 inch square in the middle to make sure that you're cutting them in the right orientation. I'll put this and my other square sewing patterns on my website eventually. Not today because it's the economic blackout, and I don't want to advertise or use my website today. But at some point I'll have them sized properly and tiled and put as PDFs for free on my website. Okay, so before I just put right sides together on both of these and sew it up, I wanted to show y'all something. I top stitched all of these. That's just taking your biggest stitch on your sewing machine and going around. And I made sure that the excess fabric when I top stitched was facing towards the dress. That just stabilizes each of the pockets. And I'm going to show y'all how I have it pinned together to sew. But basically, the pockets are part of the sewing pattern now. So you sew this crazy shape. I'll show you how it's pinned. Yeah, so I cut the back while using outdated measurements, or maybe I cut the front while using outdated measurements. Either way, the front is a good 4 inches longer than the back, so we're going to ignore that and work with what we have. I kind of wanted to make this a tiered skirt anyway, so we're going to make sure that this covers what it needs to cover. This is looking way too short, so maybe I use the outdated measurements on the front. I don't know. It's better to work with one pattern and not go and change things as you go, like what I did, but I didn't think I changed it between the back and the front, but obviously I did. Anyway, this is how you're supposed to have it pinned. So you see along this edge, and then I curve up here, along the pocket, curve, and then back here. I think what I'm gonna do is a zigzag stitch from here all the way to the pocket. And then down here I'll do a serge, or I don't know, I really don't want to serge this pocket. Maybe I'll do a straight stitch with a zigzag next to it for like all of this, and a zigzag here. But yeah, I have to do that on this and the other side, and then we'll figure out what's going to happen with the hem. All right, so now I think what I'm going to have to do is cover these edges because they're really gross. I might get like right up to there, cut them, and then do another zigzag stitch next to them just to keep them secure. And then this hem is a little long. I think I might take an inch out and then hem it up, or I'll just have it be like a really thick hem because I'm short. I'm standing next to this and it's at the knee, and that's too long. It just is. So I'm going to do a double fold hem, close it up, and then we can get to the straps if I want them, because it's looking pretty good without them. I don't know, the straps might be bonus content because basically this is the dress that you would make at Joann fabric plus, you know, with the fabric they sell plus the pockets. So I don't really feel the need to add much else, so that might be a separate video just to get this done because I haven't done a video in a really long time. So we'll see. All right, so if you get it done to this point, this is the basic dress. Now if you want it even more like the one that's for sale at Joann Fabrics, what you gotta do, sorry, it looked like there was something on there. What you gotta do is that rectangle that I showed you, you wanna make it the width twice the size of the bust measurement and not the largest measurement. But I kind of like it being this full, so I'm good with that. I don't have the straps yet, but I can show that in a YouTube short. This is just the basic dress. Oh, if you see safety pins on it, it's because I have some work to do in covering up stains. I'm not sure if I'm going to do some cheeky embroidery or if I'm going to try to paint it. Trying to paint it seems a little specific. I have to wash it anyway to get the chalk off though. But this is it. And now you have the easy Joann dress, which was a little, I'm not going to say less easy, but was definitely more tedious than just buying the fabric like that from Joann's. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you want more content, especially if you want to see me making the straps. Till then, thank you. Bye.